Hello everyone, welcome to Best Recipes with Sharon. Today I'm going to be showing you a recipe on how to make homemade triple layered pudding dessert. The 3 layers consist of chocolate, vanilla, and butterscotch, topped off with whipped cream, some shavings of chocolate, and a maraschino cherry. And you just can't beat the homemade flavor in this dessert. And the amounts in today's recipes will be enough to make about 10 of these. So let's start off with the pleasantly rich chocolate layer. We'll use a medium-sized saucepan so we have lots of room for stirring. Add 1 cup of heavy cream, then 1 cup of 2% milk, a level 1/3 of a cup of cocoa, a good 2/3 of a cup of white sugar, and 3 level tablespoons of cornstarch. I use a whisk to mix that together. Turn the heat onto medium-high. And you continue to heat the mixture while you continue to whisk it as well, because it will help to keep it from sticking, and as it starts to thicken, it's very important that you are stirring this or whisking it briskly. Once it comes to a bit of a simmer and you see a little steam coming from it, it won't take long and you'll see it thicken, and it'll be very quick when that happens. So once it starts to thicken, I remove it from the heat. Now add a tablespoon of butter and mix that in. And finally add 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla. And mix that in until it's really well incorporated and your pudding is nice and smooth. There now, so once it's thickened up like this, then you can go ahead and let it cool down a little bit. But while it is still warm, go ahead and add it to the bottom of each of your dessert glasses. So this, of course, forms the first layer of our dessert. Now you'll let that sit at room temperature while we'll prepare the middle layer. Now I use the same saucepan, I just wash it out and start over again. This one will be the vanilla pudding. Start by adding 2 cups of 2% milk. Add 3/4 of a cup of white sugar. Add 3 level tablespoons of cornstarch. Then add 1 large egg. Whisk that in until it's well blended. Turn your heat on medium-high. Once again, stay right with it and whisk it continually while it's heating up. It will only take a few minutes and you'll start to see some steam, and that's when it'll start to thicken very quickly once again. Turn your heat off and add a lump of butter, so about a tablespoon. 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla and whisk that until it's nice and smooth. Now that it's thickened up, we'll go ahead and let it cool down a little bit until it's about lukewarm. This time I'm going to use a 2-cup measuring cup, and I'm going to rinse it out with water so that the pudding doesn't stick to it and it pours out easily. Simply use the measuring cup to pour equal amounts on top of the chocolate base. Wow, isn't that a nice contrast? It's looking pretty good. You can go ahead and use a spatula or a spoon to level that out to the edges if you like. Now, in order to make sure you have enough for the full 10, put a little bit in each one, and you can even go back and top up a little bit more towards the end if you need to, and spread it out evenly like I said. And once again, you can leave these just sitting right on the counter while you continue on and make the next layer. Once again, clean out your pot and let's start over. So we're going to start with 2 eggs, but we're only using the yolks in this one. So separate the egg whites from the yolks, and we're going to be making the butterscotch pudding. Each of these pudding recipes are slightly different, but that's on purpose. Some of them I want to be a little bit more rich than the others. So let's go ahead and get this butterscotch one on the way. Start by adding 1 cup of heavy cream to the saucepan. Then add 1 cup of 2% milk. Add 1/4 cup of salted butter. And now 1 cup of brown sugar. And because the brown sugar is a little bit heavy, I'll use a large spoon to mix that together. And once again, add 3 level tablespoons of cornstarch. Just stir that together a little bit and turn your heat on medium-high. Start to melt the butter and continue to stir it while it's heating. Just before the butter's completely melted, quickly scoop out some of the heated milk mixture and add it to the egg yolks. And I use a fork to whisk that together very quickly and add it back to the mixture. This technique helps to keep the eggs from cooking in the mixture before it actually mixes through, for avoiding unwanted lumps. And at this point you notice that I've switched over to a whisk, and I'm going to whisk it briskly so that it stays nice and smooth while it starts to thicken. And once again, when you notice that it's starting to thicken, remove it from the heat right away. Now we already have our butter added to the butterscotch pudding, so all we need to add now is 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla. And once again, just like the other puddings, we'll let it cool down a little bit till it's lukewarm. And the cooling down process only takes a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes. And then you go ahead and add a caramel layer on top of the vanilla layer. And we'll do this once again by adding it to the measuring cup to make it easier to pour. I concentrate on making the chocolate and the butterscotch layer a little more rich than the vanilla layer that's in the middle. I just love the contrast. Now this is where we'll cover them over with some plastic wrap and then put them in a cool spot to chill down completely. So these are best made up ahead of time a little bit. But it doesn't take long for them to chill down either, and when you're about to serve it, I'm using an Aero chocolate bar here, but I put some whipped cream on, some shavings of chocolate, and top it off with a maraschino cherry. I can't wait, so I think I'm going to try this out. Here on my spoon you can actually see the different layers, so when you're eating it, it's up to you. Dig down deep and get all 3 layers at once, or eat 1 layer at a time. But I like to do the 3 layers at once because it's just a burst of flavors that are really complementary. Oh, alright, I'm going to share. I'll finish the rest of them so that everybody else can have one. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate your subscriptions, your comments, and your thumbs up, and also for watching the ads or letting them run through, because that's what helps to support this channel. Okay, so until next time, happy eating everyone, and now go make some.